Hello and welcome back to the Woodshop. We're back with the Tormek T8. I have some more sharpening to do, so I figured it's a great opportunity to get this wheel nice and leveled off and nice and round. To do that we use the Tormek TT-50 dressing tool. I've noticed that even when you do leave it out of the water, it's completely free of water, sometimes it gets a little bit out of center. I think that's from where the water all slumps down in the middle and dries out and sits at the bottom, and it's a little bit swollen. So I like to always, before dressing the tool, leave this running for 5 or 10 minutes just to make sure the stone is evenly soaked in water before doing anything. So I've done that already. I know that the center of my stone is a little bit lower than the outsides, because if I run the dressing tool or the grading tool over the stone, it doesn't sit very flat to start with, but I know that the center isn't getting the steel removed off it. So I've got a pretty good idea that it needs dressing. To get the tool dressed, we're just going to mount this. It has a little fork on one side. That fork goes up against the tool post. So we're going to run that and put it in. The instructions say you can go quite aggressive on this. However, I've always found that I get a lot of vibration and I can get a real harmonic built up, especially in the outer area. And that leaves a groove, which is basically speed bumps along the area where it does that. So I like to go very, very gentle with this, and to do that I'm going to drive this out a little bit so that it will drop down onto the edge of the stone. I'm not interested in finding a high point right now. For now I just want to drop this down till the diamond dressing bit is touching the stone. Make sure you adjust the screw on the tool rest so that it's free and clear. And once it's resting there nice and gently, drive that screw down until it's just touching the tool post. And then tighten up. Before tightening up, lift up the tool post and wind the dressing stone away from the wheel. You can then drop it back down to your reference and tighten up. Okay, so we now have the tool set up on the tool rest and we're ready to start dressing. And this is going to be a really slow process of just figuring out quite where we are. So we'll switch on, and I like to hold the back of the dressing tool down because it reduces the vibration. So unlike the Tormek videos you might see where they're driving from both sides, then it doesn't matter if you've got a smooth motion or if you do a little bit and then a little bit more and wait. What you're looking for is a nice white line there. And you're not necessarily getting full coverage, so you may not get a nice clean bit of stone the entire way around on your first pass. You may need to multi-pass. Okay, I'd say because my stone was already fairly well set that I don't need to do any more at that point. I can actually see I've got a little bit of vibration mark on this outer edge, so I'm going to do another pass and clean that up. But first I want to run the dressing stone over. You can see it's only in just one area. This must be where it was a little bit larger and a little bit off center sticking out here. So I want to just grab my dressing stone and I'm going to just run this on the rough side against here and just see if I can smooth out any of those marks. Okay, I'm holding it. I'm going to go slower this time, which will give me a finer finish. And I haven't adjusted anything, so this is just taking off a tiny bit more. And you can hear that vibration, so I'm actually going to hold on to this tool post with my hand as I feed it across to try and reduce that. Okay, so I'm going to drop this down by about one measurement, one number. That's all we should need, and that, for how out of true this wheel is going to get me dressed and set. I can see I've got a beautiful smooth reflection on the water here. It is fully finished and ready for use again. Stone looks nice and clean, there's no high spots, there's no low spots, and there's, most importantly, no vibration marks in the material. At this point you're done, but I would recommend going ahead and emptying out your water. There's going to be a lot of stone sediment in there, and any metal which was trapped in the stone wheel is also going to have collected on your magnet in the front. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please leave a like. Otherwise, check out some of our other videos. We'd love to have you along for the journey. Hit subscribe. If you've got any suggestions on how to do this, I know this isn't how the manual necessarily says to go about it, but I found the way the manual recommended was too aggressive and I would get damage to the wheel from it. So I go a little bit gentler and a little bit faster even than the manual suggests, but by doing a gentle pass. If you've got any suggestions on getting your wheel dressed, leave a comment below. If you've got any other suggestions, leave a comment. Thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic day.